people.
Okay, let's move on to the issue of rape. Now, all week we've been talking about Busola's issue with the pastor, Biodun Fatoyinbo and all that. But we don't want to totally go back to those two parties. Our focus really was on this issue of rape. Now, we had a special guest. Unfortunately, she had to rush off to a meeting. I really, really hoped she would have been on the show, but I guess she had to rush off for another meeting. So we'll still have to bring her back at some point. But what we want to discuss on this issue of rape, because Praise Fowowe put together an article which was very, very insightful. Because what he was saying in that article was almost every young man growing up as a teenager, a young adult, we're faced with that position where you feel that to be a man, to be a complete man, you have to at least try to forcefully get this thing from a girl. Either you date her and even though she says no, you still try to push a bit harder. A lot of men have gone through this. So let's not act acting as if we're all anti-rape or is a bad thing. No, many of us have been through it, according to Praise Fowowe. That in fact, a lot of men probably need to apologize to lots of women in their lives because you have at some point in your life done this.
Ew.
So let's have that conversation. Let's open up the phone lines. We'd like to hear your thoughts on have you been raped? Or have you raped somebody? And how? Listen, have you?
Nobody will say that.
Have you raped somebody? Because you could have done it unintentionally. Because but let us discuss it and know that it is a real issue we have in our society.
So the thing for me is that this situation brought a lot to the limelight, a lot of things to the limelight. I realized that a lot of men are engaged don't understand that no is no. We don't understand what consent is. So I've been asking many people. They say when she says no, it means try harder.
Ew.
So no is try harder. No is okay. I'm forming hard to get. So a lot of men end up raping girls, thinking that she will still agree. She will still agree. And Praise highlighted the fact that many girls in a relationship, you are in a relationship with someone does not give the person permission to have sex with you.
Hallelujah.
And the fact that a lot of girls define it as a young child. As a young girl, we all had this conversation that I want to marry a virgin. A lot of us. And we all tell our boyfriends then that we can just kiss, so we will not do anything else. But you realize that you have done everything.
Before.
And the thing that happened is because there's a mounting pressure. We must face the fact that men should learn to understand that no is no. Yeah. When a woman says no, even if you took her on a date, even if you drank with her, even if you bought her everything she's wearing, if she has said no, anything you do at that time is rape.
Hey. See, and that's the realization we must all come to, and that's why we're having this conversation. I'm going to continue having this conversation. I'd like to come to our audience, and I'd like a few of us to share your stories. Or you don't have to use yourself, just say my sister or my auntie or somebody I know. You can say, it's all right. But let us hear the stories of people's experiences because we must share the stories. Nigerians must understand that it actually exists, and we must change that narrative that once I say no, it is no, you stop, period. Nimba, you want to say something?
Yes. So, you know the Alpha that's raped a
4-year-old.
4-year-old. There's another one I read that raped a 16-year-old who was saying no to him. She didn't want to get married to him. So he kept pushing and she kept saying no. And finally he took her somewhere. They traveled together. She's a scholar under him. Traveled together and then he perpetrated that act there and continued when they came back. And now the parents are even afraid to continue that fight because of threats from the Alpha, you know. So the fear is there. So when I was reading through, I understood that because men feel they are superior to women, how dare you tell me no? Some men take it very personal. I remember back in the university, I was having a chat with one of our friends. He came to take his girlfriend out and he brought a friend. So all of us, we were like 5 friends together, went out with them. And then he looked at me and said, I want to date you. And I'm like, hello? It came as a shock. I'm like, I don't like you. He said, you can't say you don't like me. When I want to date you, I will date you. All this one you're doing, you're forming. I was very, very upset. How dare you? He said, no, you are just, this, you know, you don't, nobody has ever told me no. So men take it very personal when a lady says no to them.
So we're going to go to the audience. Let's hear a few thoughts. Yes, go ahead.
See, this rape issue, I was involved in a rape incident when I was in JSS1 in my secondary school. And it all falls to peer pressure because as a young boy, I always wanted I believe boys at my age group at that time always wanted, when we see some beautiful young girls or even older ladies, we take it as a discussion among ourselves that, oh, that beautiful lady person there now, I'm going to have her, I'm going to date her. It starts from dating. And then as a young lady, they, at my age then, they feel guys that are academically intelligent. They believe, okay, this guy can't touch me and all that. So at that period, I had to, because I went to a boarding school, but my boarding school was a mixed boarding school. So I went, we had a chapel, after a chapel service, and I told my friends that, okay, that girl, I'm going to get her. I lied that I had already started dating her, just to have hype yourself, just to be a big boy in secondary school. So I went to, after the service, I sneaked out from my own hostel, and she sneaked out from my hostel, and then we met at a staff room.
Also, she liked you, actually?
She liked me, but not really
enough to have sex.
Right.
And we entered inside the staff room, and she didn't want to do it.
Right.
But I wanted to do something so I can tell my friends how it was, the experience. And that was how it happened. But it was... Yes, then it was not as
that's fine. I get the point. Yes. But you see, one of the things what Praise was saying, because I mean, I really like everybody to get that praise right, and I hope you post on Facebook, is that you've done it. In your mind, you're just a young person trying to do what you got to do.
Yes.
But that girl, you don't know if you had actually damaged her. Yes. You don't know where she is today. A lot of people don't know where the person who was your prey. You have no idea what she's done. So from that moment, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about that person generally becomes somebody. Now she's not giving me this freely. Just because, hey, it was taken from me. Let me come to you, Mariam.
You know, that particular story about you may have damaged her. Another sad part of that story is that some girls have gone through that and did not realize at the time that they had been raped, and that was an assault. So you have conditioned them also now to think that it has to be forceful.
Yes, that was my fault.
Yes. So
let me come to you. I have a young lady also wants to share a story. Go ahead, please.
So this is not my real story, but it's a friend's story. Okay, I remember when I was in school, a girl was raped. And then when the guy was arrested and he was actually asked, and it was like, oh, she's so beautiful, the way she dressed, it turns me on and all of that. So I was thinking she wanted me because she was extraordinarily nice to me. And naturally, the lady is a nice lady. So I love to say this from what you said, that in as much as we want to work on our girls, in as much as we want to orientate our girls, we also need to work on the male child as well. It's very important. Like, they feel they are superior. And why some of them feel that, some of them feel very weak, but act strong as well. So we need to work on the male gender as well.
So, as I said, we cannot exhaust this conversation because we still need to bring in an expert to help us understand. Unfortunately, it's so sad that our expert had to leave. Because young people, adolescents at that age, you feel the hormones are raging. You want to have sex. It's the age. No. Now, how do you manage that situation is what we need to ask the experts. How does a young teenager be able to either suppress that emotion or use it responsibly?
I think that we've taken it our society has taken it for granted that men cannot control their urges, and we allow them, we permit it. That is a problem. Men can control themselves. That's number one. Number two, a girl being nice to you doesn't mean that for any reason she's giving you green lights. Being kind and being polite is not green light. If I say no in a gentle way, does not mean that I don't mean my no. I don't need to fight. I don't need to get aggressive in my no for you to get the message. But we tend to feel like, she's saying it nicely. Let me still try. We must get to that point where no matter how she says it, and the best way to approach this is through punitive measures. When we punish people,
we'll come
then
to
they will realize it.
Let me take this call, then I'll come to Beajilu. Thanks for calling from London, Big Sam. You go ahead, please. Oh, he's out. I do apologize. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't think every young girl at a certain age wants to have sex. I don't think that's the issue. I think because of our the way our body has been set, at that age, we have those sensations coursing through our bodies.
When they touch
and yes, and you like the touch, you like the necking, you like the kissing, but you don't want to go further. Most of the girls I know at that age growing up did not purposely want to go further. But because of the pressure of the guy, there's what they call grooming. They keep grooming you and grooming you and grooming you till you finally, till you finally accept. And if you see most of them who finally give in, at the end of the day, they sleep around because now it's been taken from them. So what have I been saving for a long time? There's no point. I can easily give it. So the thing for me is we shouldn't teach, you can't suppress those feelings for young people. I shouldn't teach my child to suppress it. Understand what you're feeling, but channel it to a productive, make sure that you are engaged.
Like you're doing lawn tennis.
Nima was saying, yes. Nima
Like
was
Serena
saying
Williams.
something recently when we talked about drug use for young people. And she mentioned something very important and said that when we're growing up, we didn't have so much time to fool around. We're busy doing house chores. You will wash plates, you fetch firewood, you do all of those. Channel your children, push them to do things. Sporting activities will take away all of those.
All right, I think I have a call. Morning, are you there? Okay, right, go ahead. Mara.
Yeah, so another part I like to talk about really is the dress. I hear this said a lot about rape, like what was she wearing? So a lot of the information out there encourages our young boys to push, forcefully, which is you're told from when you're young that if you're a virgin and you're a boy at a certain age, then you're not a, you're not a hip hop, you're not a man. So they lie to you about, then you find a university where you go for parties, they spike your drinks with all sorts of things. So the boy child needs to be re-educated, re-informed. Right. Then I think we also need to talk about what happens when you rape.
Yes.
So the justice, punishment when you rape. And
Exactly.
that will also teach us what not to do.
So
I
we need
want
to agree on what exactly is the punishment for this
So
rape.
I just got some. In Nigeria, first of all, there are various laws on rape. And in Nigeria, there's the criminal code in the south and the penal code in the north. And both of them say life imprisonment. That's the punishment.
It's not enough.
Or we don't know how many people get it. But I just wanted, let me just quickly add this. There are some other countries that take rape really seriously. So in China, you have death or genital mutilation. In Iran, you are killed by the victim, either shot or hanged. In India, it's imprisonment up to 15 years, death for repeat offender. In France, imprisonment for 15 years, maximum 30 years. In Netherlands, which is 4 to 15 years, which seems like as if it's little, but a French case is also
Okay, let me take this
there.
call. Sorry, not this call. Let me talk to somebody in the audience. Go ahead, lady. Go ahead.
Okay, so there is this thing that happens, or that is common within girls of the age of 15, 16, within that range. So you are dating somebody, at least like at the young age, at 15, 16, you're dating someone and the guy tells you, let's do it, let's have sex. Deep down, you know you don't want to do it. You know it's not right. You know I want to keep my virginity. But you give in sake of, I love him. Most girls within that age, in fact, starting from 14, give in because of, I love him. When you tell him that, well, I'm dating you, you are dating me, we're both dating, I love you, you love me, but I can't have sex with you. It won't kill them.
Okay,
girls.
Let me now come to the young people in the audience. I'll come to our mummies. I know the mummies down here want to say a few things. But when you are under that pressure, and I like to like the ladies, the young ladies in the audience, when you really like a guy, because love is real, and you have that love, I really love him. Now, that pressure she talked about, can somebody help me describe it? What do you do when you're under that pressure? Those of you who have been able to overcome that pressure, what did you do? So somebody who is listening, who's under that pressure right now, just because she's hot, she's pretty, and she just feels like this, I need to be part of the in team, the in group. I have to give in. So I want to know, I'm talking to a young person now, how do you overcome that pressure? So go ahead.
Okay, I think basically young adults should understand that their parents can never lead them astray. We always want to talk to our peers, you want to talk to your friends, but they always give you the wrong advice. They always tell you, just do it, there's nothing there. But when you talk to your parents, yes, they might scold you, but at the end of the day, it's for your good. So I think who we look up to for advice
plays.
Fantastic. Get your parental role models. Yes, go ahead.
Do you think that there's a way that a parent should teach you long before you start having sexual urges? Do you think that there's a way Nigerian parents are doing? Do you think we're doing it right?
We're not doing it right.
What a young lady...
So in your own experience,
what would
or
you say?
with those that you know, how do the parents teach you such that you're willing to even take their own advice? Yes.
My parents were not there at first, and a lot of things had to go wrong before they came around. And when they came around, things just fell back into place.
Fantastic.
So basically, just be friends, and parents shouldn't be so strict.
Yes. Okay.
Be friends with your children.
Right.
So Moshood Akinleye says, on saying no, when it comes to consent in sex, ladies must ensure that their verbal matches with the non-verbal. You can't be saying no and be smiling. You don't have to shout. Say no with firmness. Non-verbal cues communicates more than the verbal.
Thank you, Tokwe. And I'll come to the audience for that. Okay. Young men, I'll come to you. Young men in the audience, have you ever experienced what Tokwe just said? When she's saying no, but her body is saying otherwise. Her actions, everything about her is just, no, Jerry, no.
She's not straightforward.
So she's not straightforward. So let me take this call, then I'll come to you, Biajilu. Hello, are you there? Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I want to first of all comment on the first issue about the senator that assaulted a lady.
Yeah.
Okay. My observation about it is, firstly, it's not supposed to be a gender issue. It's actually, an anger issue. Okay, because it would have also been, if we were a guy, would have done worse. Would have still, have beaten up the guy. So the action is totally not gender-based.
Okay.
It is an anger issue, and it is condemnable in all ramifications. It is not becoming of anybody that calls himself a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Right. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you for that point.
Secondly, the issue of the policeman that was looking, the policeman is first has the duty to protect Nigerian citizens.
Right.
So basically, he has that duty first and above his responsibility to his organ. He's not supposed to stand and look while his organ commits an offense. He's supposed to arrest his organ or at least restrain his organ. So that's actually my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yes, Reeducating.
So let me try to be calm so that maybe people will hear me better. The issue of saying no and then giving your body, your non-verbal is saying yes. I think we should raise our children to learn how to, even the scripture says, let your no be no and your yes be yes. So if you are saying no, make sure that you are not smiling when you are saying. In fact, when they even ask you that question of sex, open your mouth and scream, I am not interested. But when you now, no, I don't want. See, let me put it down. No, I'm not done. No, that's what I'm saying. That we should teach them. We should
This is what I'm going to say. Boys, no is no. That is all. See, I have a son, and I do not want him to ever get in a position where he thinks, well, there were non-verbal cues, the sun was shining, and the rain was falling. Nothing else matters. If she says no, then it's for your own good.
I am also saying we should teach. It doesn't mean that it's realistic at the moment. But I would tell my daughter to scream the no. Don't say it's small. But I haven't finished, so hold on, please. So I wanted to talk about helping our children, to fortify them so that when they get to that age, they are not misled. A lot of parents back in the days, the kind of parents we had, didn't know how to instill self-esteem. So when you hear the first time a boy telling you, I love you, you've not heard it before, your body rages. But when you start telling your girl children that you love them, when that comes, it doesn't...
We can't deny hormones. As a single girl with the right values, you are in love with somebody, it touches you, you are hormonally moved.
Yeah.
So yes, your body wants it, but your brain knows you shouldn't do it.
Right.
You tell him no.
Right.
So you cannot take the physical, you cannot be taking my physical cues to gauge my no. In developed countries, they will, even now, people are not careful that I won't be in the same room with you before you say I sexually harassed you. Right. Because you want to avoid it.
So come to you, Mariam. Let me take a few of the young people. Yes. Where's the mic? No, let me get that young lady up there, please. The lady up there. Please, go ahead. You have a call? Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning. My name is Adi. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to talk about an awareness of sexual abuse that I got to find out yesterday happening in the medical field. Now, we all think of you that doctors have total access to our body. There's a story a friend shared with me, and I'd like every female to be aware about this. Now, this lady went to meet a doctor, complaining about menstrual pain. And then this senior consultant told the girl to lay down. He took gloves, and then he told her to spread her legs, and was inserting his finger in her genitals. Now, we feel that this is normal because the girl is ignorant about this. Now, this man was doing this for a very long time, and then the girl was moaning and groaning in pain. He actually suspected this girl. And then when he turned around, he found out that he was pleasuring himself. Now, things out there, you should be aware that a doctor does not have access to insert his finger into your genitals. Even if you have lumps in your breast, you should not just fondle your breast like that.
In fact,
and
that's a whole new kettle of work.
You must explain the process, and you
Ogade,
I have heard.
thank you so much for bringing this up. We're going to deal with it on another show. This is a whole new chapter, which we have to deal with, but not today. Let me take your comments. Go ahead, please.
Most of our girls don't. They feel like you have to say no. But how about if you want it? I think you should teach our girls to have the courage to say yes. You don't have to say, no, I don't want, and expect them to push. If you want it, you have to be woman enough to say, yes, I want it, let's do this. So I think that's the awareness we also need to raise for our women as well. Okay.
So did you understand that? If you actually want it,
you don't need to say
no
it
with confidence. Let's do this, bro. Let's make it happen. But if you do not want it, be firm. We're not having it.
Yes, be firm. Okay, so the only thing now I'm worried about, where this conversation is going is because we're talking about hormones, we're talking about young people. And for me, I feel it's a really very different discussion than rape. So yes, we have hormones. This is like sex education, and it's very different. Rape is when you go ahead and take it without consent being given. So I don't want someone to come and say, well, okay, I'm at that age, I'm feeling hormonal and things like that. Please, I just do not feel that where we're going with this discussion should be in the same place as with rape. As rape.
All right. Let me take this comment. Go ahead, sir.
I want to take it a bit further from what the young lady said. At the point of saying yes, and you are in the act already, various perspectives to rape has also suggested that the moment the lady now says no, in between lines, that it has become rape. So where do we go from there?
So that's a legal battle. So you start with, let's do this. Someone in the media just remember, you hear your mother's voice. Hey, don't you dare. And say, Oga, stop. That moment. Should you stop?
You should stop.
The answer is yes, you stop.
You should stop.
At that moment,
let me give you a true story. Mike Tyson, at least we all know Mike Tyson, the boxer.
Robin Williams,
Yes. And he had a real life engagement. He had a date with his girlfriend. They went out together. They had food together. They walked into the hotel room together. And she said no. Mike Tyson went to prison for raping a girl that he took on a date. They were dating. They went to the hotel room together. At the point of intercourse, she said no.
In the middle.
At any time she says no,
it is no.
Is no.